Bibio woke up at dawn and sat up in bed. He thought about his life. He was not really at peace with himself because he genuinely regrets the things he has done, the way he had treated his wives, and the countless ladies he had fooled, the women he has slept with, and fooled them into thinking he was going to marry them. He now realized how evil he was. He has daughters, and knew he would not accept it if any man treated his daughters the way he had treated innocent women. Ever since Bibio's encounter with Kadi's ghost in his room, his life has changed drastically. He also lived in fear, because Kadi's ghost had told him she'll be back. Every day he worries about encountering the ghost. He prays and goes to church every Sunday. He strongly believed that the Spirit of God will save him and keep the ghost away. So far, so good. He is now much more attentive to his wives and kids than before. His wives were very happy with the new Bibio. The children saw more of their father and spent more time with him. It took a few months before he mustered the courage to foe on the road again. Truck driving is his life and also his passion. Now, he picks up the traders from the various villages to the market in the city. Then he picks them up in the evenings and drops them in their various villages. He no longer stopped to see Bisi, Aku, and the other 8 girlfriends. He has become stout as an arrow. The girlfriends were concerned. They do not understand what is going on. It's been months since Bibio came to see them. Each girlfriend believed she was the only woman in his life. They did not know that he has 2 wives and children. Bibio was playing hide and seek with them. He was avoiding any confrontation from them. He truly regrets his former lifestyle. He felt bad about how he treated the women in his life. He lied to all his girlfriends. He was just using them and has no intention of leaving any of them. He felt bad about wasting their time all these years. Now he was scared about what to say them. He decided to take the easy way out by avoiding them. Bisi, Aku, and the other girlfriends were seriously looking for Bibio. They were asking around ABD, trying to locate his village. Because Bibio was married whilst cheating, he never told any of his numerous girlfriends to his house or village. He always go to their homes. Now he doesn't come to them anymore, so they are looking for him. His girlfriends were genuinely worried. One Sunday morning, just when Bibio was about leave for church, a motorbike with a passenger at the back drove into his yard. Motorbikes are means of transport in some villages, and cities too. The passenger was Bisi, his girlfriend. Bibio panicked. He walked up to her before she could say a word and grabbed her hand. He dragged her to the back of his house. He also motioned her to keep her voice down. Then Bibio realized that Bisi was pregnant. Bisi did not understand why Bibio was behaving strangely. She was happy to see him, but it seems he wasn't happy to see her. He was nervous and looking out to see if anyone was around. Just as he was about to say something to Bisi, his first wife rounded the corner and told him there is a lady looking for him. The wife looked curiously at Bisi. Bibio excused himself to go see who the visitor was. Bisi followed. To his shock, it was Aku. She was also pregnant. Bibio's wives stood nearby to watch. Why ate 2 pregnant women in their home? Bisi and Aku confronted Bibio, each wanting to know who the other woman is. The 2 girlfriends got into a confrontation. The wives stepped in and introduced themselves as wives of Bibio. Now the girlfriends were shocked. Bibio is married? They both turned and faced Bibio, who was now sweating profusely. He couldn't utter a word. He thought his troubles were over. Now his lies have caught up with him. The girlfriends refused to leave. They demanded that Bibio take responsibility of his actions. Traditional laws demand that when a man impregnates a woman, he must marry her. Bibio was not ready to have 4 wives, but he also knows that he has no choice but to marry them. He prayed that more women will not show up pregnant for him. What is he going to do? His wayward ways and lies has finally caught up with him. He was also scared that if he didn't take responsibility and something happened to these pregnant women, he will now have 3 ghosts to haunt him. The thought of that was enough for his knees to buckle. A meeting was called by the elders of Bibio, his family, and the familia of his 2 pregnant girlfriends. The girlfriends narrated their story of how long they have been going out with Bibio and the promises of marriage he has made to them. Now they are pregnant. They had to trace him to his village, only to find out he was already married with kids. When it was his turn to talk, Bibio acknowledged his past wayward life and apologized to his wives Firati. Then the girlfriends, he owned up to the pregnancies. The families demanded he marry their daughters. Bibio had no choice, and honestly, he was scared of Kadi's ghost. He wants to do the right thing. A date was set for the marriage ceremony. It was agreed that for economic reasons, he will marry both women on the same day to save money, since he would now have 4 wives and 2 more babies to feed. TB day for the marriage ceremony came, and his new brides were dressed beautifully. His first and second wives were not happy. Now they have to share their husband with 2 more wives, and the whole village celebrated with them. They knew it would not be easy. It is obvious that they would each have to wait almost a week before getting closer to him. In between spending time with one wife, he would need a couple of days rest. Bibio was really not happy, but what can he do? He got himself into the situation by thinking he is smart and would deceive the women whilst he enjoyed himself. In the end, he became the laughing stork. 1 week after the marriage, the 2 NAQ wives moved into his compound. Bibio was now advising the young men to be faithful to their wives. Hence they encounter his fate. The end.